Hey everybody. Almost want to call this a part two because if you haven't seen the kind of part one of this, long story short, a good friend of mine sent me a couple of albums in the mail, brand new, shrink wrap, the whole deal, and it's a very rare treat for me to be able to open albums and experience them brand new. Most of my collection is used and vintage and well loved. So hearing a brand new album is cool for me. And so first video I did was for all in regards to the band Orgy. And the first video, I might as well call it part one, was about the first album they released that I'm aware of anyways, Candyass. And great album, very much kind of got me into the band. I was very attracted to, the sound and the aesthetic and the futuristic nature of it. And, they talked a lot about digital and, just like, they had this like kind of futuristic vibe to it that I was really kind of compelled by. And so Candyass comes out, I dive into that album and, listen to it a lot. And, eagerly kind of anticipating the next album from Orgy. And speaking of the next album from Orgy, here it is. This is Vapor Transmission. And I love Candyass, but there is something magical for me about this album, whether it's the time and place I heard it, the time in my life, the songs, who knows. So needless to say, my friend Brian, another shout out to you, my man. This is very cool that you sent me these. Apparently he had a bunch of extras in his collection and could spare to a poor record collector such as myself. So it was very cool of him to do that. I don't have a lot of new vinyl in my collection. So anytime, this is one of the first times I've had a chance to experience it, and from one of my favorite albums of all time too. So this is a gatefold, very cool, no idea what the album cover is. It's just, it looks cool. It's got this, the whole band had this vibe to it about, futurism, and the videos all kind of lent into that, the guitar pedals they were using were kind of out there. Just the whole sound of the band had all these elements, a lot of programming. I was big into bands like KMFDM and Skinny Puppy and Reese Fulber, who did a lot of the programming on the early Fear Factory records. He had a band called Frontline Assembly. And so I had kind of delved into a little bit of that stuff, and always really liked it. There was always a lot of rhythmic elements that were in a lot of industrial music, and Butthole Surfers they touched on that a little bit, and a bunch of bands. It was the 90s. It was a mishmash of things. But this album came out in the year 2000. I'm I'm a teenager still at this point when this album comes out, and so certain albums hit you at a certain time in your life, and this is just one that stuck with me. I can listen to this entire album front to back, and never get tired of it. Listen to it a few times in a row. And honestly, when I got sent both of these albums, the Candyass, and this is the first one I listened to. This got cracked open immediately and right onto the turntable. So yeah, it's a cool I said in my other video, I don't really get too much into the collecting and the different colors and stuff, but it's like it's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but it's a translucent purple swirl vinyl, and it looks cool, but it's all about the songs and the sound, and both of these albums sound great. But getting back to this album, the first single I think I had heard off of this, it would have been, go back through the memory bank, it's been a long time, it's 25 years. It was probably either the movie Valentine, for anybody like so old, not so good horror movies. I guess it was a teen horror at the time, I don't know. Anyways, this movie with David Boreanaz and Denise Richards. It's like a slasher movie, and it came out in the year 2000. And there's a scene in the movie where they're at a party, and the song Opticon from this album is playing. So I can't remember if that's the first time I heard anything off of this. I don't remember hearing anything on the radio. But the other thing could be there used to be this show called Farm Club. For anybody that remembers back, you know, when MTV used to still play music, Matt Pinfield hosted a show called Farm Club, and you know, they would feature up and coming bands and music videos and all that kind of stuff, live performances. And the first kind of live thing I had seen of Orgy from this album cycle was them on Farm Club performing the song Opticon live, which was really, really cool to see too. So those might have been my first two kind of experiences with the album and hearing something off of it. I don't remember what the first video would have been, if it was Opticon to coincide with the release of the movie Valentine, or if it was Fiction, Dreams, and Digital. I honestly don't remember which one it was, but it's likely one of those songs I heard first. It was either Opticon or Fiction, Dreams, and Digital. And they're just such amazing songs. Like, they're, you know, simple in arrangements and things like that. They're not overly complex. They're, you know, pop songs at the end of the day, really, when it comes down to it. But just the way they're orchestrated with like all these electronic elements and a lot of rhythmic elements, and, you know, just ear candy all over the place, which has been cool to kind of come back around to on a great pressing on a nice stereo system and hear all these things again. Some of my favorite songs off of this, pretty much everything on here is great. The whole first side of this, you know, it's got sides, it's an album. But there's a lot of songs on this album. I forgot there was 14 tracks on this. Sucker Face, which is kind of like the first song, is really, really awesome. It's got a great, like, kind of driving groove to it. Awesome production, and it's just a killer song. The Odyssey is another good one too. Opticon is the next one on there. Opticon is, just an amazing song. Such a huge chorus and such a great kind of like almost like a disco, it's like a disco beat. It's hard to describe, but amazing song. Fiction, Dreams, and Digital. Really, I mean, it kind of looks dated now when you look at it, but at the time when the music video came out for that, it was one of the first music videos I had seen. Clearly, it had a large budget because it had a lot of CGI effects, and it had this big budget feel to it, and, you know, the band playing on this moving platform, and really, really, really cool and very dramatic lighting, and, you know, it's kind of like epitomizes the band kind of, you know, if you watch the video and hear the song, you get all the elements of the band Orgy right in that 1 4-minute package or whatever. So yeah, Fiction, Dreams, and Digital, another great song. Eva, which is, I don't know if it was ever released as a single, but amazing song as well. It's got kind of like, I don't know what the words or the lyrics are to it, but it almost feels kind of like it has a sense of longing to the song. Like, musically it feels like that, so I'm guessing the lyrics or the subject matter might be something along those lines too. The side 2 is kind of like the less, I don't want to say less good, but it's definitely, the first side is the one that I play the most with those first kind of 6 or 7 songs, and they just make the whole album for me. Dramatica is great. Eyes, Radio, Lies, Saving Faces, Chasing Sirens is a good song too. But yeah, amazing album for me. And I don't remember when I first got my hands on this. I would have likely bought this. As I said in my other video, I had a great group of friends in high school, and we all really loved music, and we would share amongst each other with CDs that we had. And a friend of mine, John Davis, shout out to you, my man, if you ever watch these videos, but he shared the first Orgy album with me, and that kind of just grew my love for the band. And immediately on release, I don't remember what month or when it was released exactly, but I got it not too long after it was released. I was in very high anticipation of this album coming out. And then, just kind of talk about Orgy a bit. It's like, like I don't know what happens with the band. I know now they're just like, basically the only person left is Jay Gordon, the singer. And so they did put out another album after this with the kind of the original lineup. And then I know they had a shake-up, a falling out. The band kind of disappears. And then it's been kind of sporadic since then. And it's kind of a shame. It's like, I feel this band could have been like, I don't want to give it like a Depeche Mode, or like it felt like there was all this opportunity for them to really expand and, kind of do these bigger things. And I don't know if it fell apart or what happened internally with the band. The new kind of entity of Orgy is, it's got this signature kind of sound to it. I did a cover of one of the more recent songs, and the singer is the character of his voice. He's got like this very, like, if you're not familiar with the band, I think of him as like a snotty, like snarl, like his vocal delivery is very like snotty, and I don't know a better way to describe it, but it's got this like attitude to it, which is really cool. But yeah, so he's there, and it still has that kind of character to it, but the songs have changed. I don't know if Ryan Shuck or Amir, the two guitar players, or Paige or Bobby Hewitt or the rest of the guys in the band, I don't know how much they were contributing to songwriting. The credits basically just list everybody. So what that means, I don't know who is contributing to what, but yeah, it's definitely a different entity now. But yeah, as long as I have this album to kind of go by, it's like I'm good with this. The first two albums for me are kind of like, there's 25-ish songs on that, and there's plenty of good stuff to listen to. And so yeah, it's an exciting day down here in the dungeon, adding some new records to the collection. And yeah, this is a very cool one. I'll try to post a couple of the covers maybe that I've done to songs off of this, but very cool. As far as drumming goes, like I said, it was a very unique kind of hybrid approach. And if you're at all interested in combining electronics and acoustics and things like that, this was one of the early bands I saw that, kind of took not the 80s technology, but when it kind of, Roland reintroduced drumming into the zeitgeist, electronic drums back into the zeitgeist in the 90s. Orgy was the first band I saw that kind of openly embraced that. And it was very cool and very inspiring to me to learn more about programming and electronics and, combining styles and things like that. So, but yeah, this has been the one about vapor transmission from Orgy. Check this album out. This is kind of a diamond. No, it's not diamond in the rough. What's the word? It's like a nice, pleasant surprise if you ever listen to it. I really dig this one a lot, and I hope if you listen to it that you dig it too. Cheers.